everyone, this is Kierra Tiffany. Thank you for tuning back into my channel. So listen, I am just here to tell y'all my story of how I moved to LA, okay? So if you don't know me, then you don't know that I am not from LA. I live here now. I've been here for about 2 years, but I am originally from Michigan, from Detroit, Michigan. Yes, I'm from the D. But I'm from Michigan, and I want to say a week after I graduated from college, I literally packed my car and moved out here. Now, I don't have any family out here. I don't have friends out here. I literally did not know anybody besides one girl that I met my junior year of college. So besides that, I didn't know literally anybody, and I just packed my car and I moved. So a little backstory. I've always wanted to live in LA. Like I've just loved this place, been so fascinated with this place. I wanted to go to high school here. I wanted to go to college here. Oh, that didn't happen. So I was like, no, I'm moving. I always told my parents, like, I'm moving. And my mom, she thought it was just something that I was saying. Like, yeah, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to move to LA. But she didn't think I was serious. So when I was like, all right, I'm leaving next week, she was like, what? Like, she was not happy. She's still not happy. But, so what happened was, my one friend that I knew that lived out here, we'll call her Ashley, okay? So I was like, okay, well, when I get there, I want someone to drive with me that can hang out with Ashley as well, because I didn't just want to drive by myself. From Detroit to LA, it was like a 32 or 34 hour drive. That shit was long, okay? It was really long. So I was like, I need someone to go with me. And I was like, okay, I have a bunch of people to ask, but Ashley's old roommate, I was actually friends with her roommate as well. So I just contacted her. I was like, hey, like, you know, do you want to drive with me to LA? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll pay for your flight back. Like, I'll help you pay for it. And she was like, okay, cool. So we drove out here 32 hours straight. We didn't stop for hotels. We didn't stop to shower. We didn't stop to sleep. Like, we just slept. When she was driving, I was sleeping. When I was driving, she was sleeping. All we did was stop for gas and food. But we made it here exactly on time. We came to Ashley's house. And when I first moved here, I did not have a place to stay. I didn't have a job. Like, I literally just packed my car. Anything that I could fit in my little Pontiac G6, I packed it in there and I drove here. Because I was so determined. I was like, this is what I've been saying my whole life. This is the perfect time to do it. So we got here. We spent the night with Ashley. I think, did we go out that night? I think we went out like the first night we got here. The second night we got here, so Ashley had a friend that she knew from back home, because she's from Detroit as well. She had a friend that she knew that just moved here a couple of months before me, and she for some reason rented a 3-bedroom apartment, and it was just her. So basically, I didn't do an Airbnb, but that was my Airbnb. Like, so I stayed with Ashley's friend, and I paid her $800 a month, which ended up being $200 a week, because I paid weekly because I was still looking for apartments. So when I first got here, the first night, I just like parked my car on the street. There wasn't nothing in there to steal, but still. So the second night, I actually went and unpacked my car at my Airbnb, and then I came back. I hung out with Ashley and our mutual friend. We all went out that night, and y'all, me and the mutual friend, we ended up getting into it that night. And when I say got into it, I don't mean got into an argument. Like, we got into an actual fist fight. Like, we were fighting with each other. That's the crazy part. We literally got into a fight on Hollywood Boulevard. We got into a fight in a car, in the back of somebody's car, and then on Hollywood Boulevard. Like, it was ridiculous. But that's a long ass whole different story, okay? Because that was crazy. So that happened. I was so pissed off. I went straight to Ashley's house, got my stuff, and I was like, I am not like spending the weekend with you guys anymore. I don't care, like, absolutely not. So I was pissed. For some reason, I ended up sleeping in my car that night. Like, I don't know why I didn't go to the apartment, like my Airbnb. I don't know if I didn't have a key yet, or I didn't like want to wake her up because it was so late. I don't remember why, but y'all, I slept in my car that night. Cannot tell you the story of why. So the next day I went to my Airbnb. I didn't have any furniture, I didn't have anything. I literally bought an air mattress, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy all this furniture and move it into this house because I'm still searching to get apartments. So I did not want roommates. I wanted to be on my own. I didn't want to have to be with, because I have roommates all throughout college, which I absolutely love my roommates, still love them to this day. But I'm just like, I just want to be on my own. So I was looking for apartments in LA, like studios and 1-bedrooms, and literally for the first month that I moved here, I feel like everyone just felt like my transition was so like smooth, and I just came and I like got a house, got a job, was turning up and was like partying and drinking. And y'all, listen, it took me so long to get settled in LA, I'm not even gonna lie, okay? So for the first month, I was going out every single day. I was waking up at 8 a.m. and I was going to search for apartments. For some reason in LA, no one answers the phone in the leasing office. I don't know what it is. Like, literally, you have to track people down. I had to send text messages, emails, phone calls, leave voice messages, all to look at an apartment. Like, that was annoying. And every day I was on every website, I was doing that. I was also searching for a job because, like I said, I didn't have a job when I moved out here. So I was like, I can either go in my field, or I had serving experience, like waitressing experience. I worked at Hooters for like 2 years in Michigan, 2 or 3 years in Michigan. So I was like, okay, I can get a little like serving job until, you know, I figure something out. For some reason, for the first month, that was the struggle too. So I had saved up, okay, this is important. I saved up like $3,000 to $4,000. Was it 3 or 4? One of them, $3,000 or $4,000 to move out here. And I was like, that's all I got. I worked all summer before I came. I literally did my internship, left my internship, went to my job, stayed there all night. On the weekends, went straight to my job. I did nothing else to save up. So I saved $4,000. I'm pretty sure it was 4. And I was like, this is not going to last me that long, like, because I still don't have anything. I had to buy food every day. I had to pay for gas every day because I was ripping and running all around LA County. And LA County is big as fuck. And I was in every single city, okay? And it was just a lot of stuff that I was paying for. I was constantly dishing money out of my account, but I wasn't getting any back in because I didn't have a job. So I was literally going out every day. If I wasn't at an apartment complex, I was literally somewhere putting my application in. And it took me a good month before I found my first job. So the first job that I got, let me tell y'all. So I went to church. This was the first day that I went to church out here. And I went to One Church LA, which I absolutely love that church. I still go there. So I went to church, and then right after church, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go look for jobs. So I went, I put my application in, and this one place was like, okay, well, we have this one girl, she's an actress, and she just, she got a role, and she's gonna start tomorrow, hopefully, so we're gonna need you to come in, like, tomorrow. Bring your social security card, bring your ID, and we'll get you, we'll fill out all the papers, and, like, you know, you can start, like, we'll put you on the schedule. I was like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. You answered my prayers in church today. I knew it, right? So the next day comes. She's like, I'm gonna text you the schedule. The next day comes, I didn't get a text, so I text her like, I was like, hey, I'm Kierra, I met you yesterday, you told me I can start working. She was like, oh, the girl ended up not getting the part, so we're actually not hiring, and you don't got no job, basically. And I was like, that's literally the emotions that I went through. Like, how you gonna do that to me? I was literally like, I was so sad. Like, I cried. I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna find a job out here. Like, by now it was like 1 month later, still didn't have a job. So I think like a week after that, I ended up getting my first job. Now, my first job, I was a cocktail server at this little bar in, I want to say LA, but I don't think it was in LA. It was like in Torrance or something. I'm pretty sure it was in Torrance. But it was this little bar, and I was staying in the Valley. I was in North Hollywood. So you know how far of a drive that is. If you don't, it is far. Like LA traffic alone around the corner is an hour. So that was pretty far, but I was like, beggars can't be choosers and I need some money. So I got my first job there, and I wasn't working there for long. I interviewed at another place called Bar Louie. It was opening up in Northridge, and I got hired. So my first day there was orientation. That was the first day that I moved into this new apartment, right? Not this one I'm in right now, but like I said, I was going out every single day searching for apartments, and I finally found one. I went and toured it 3 times. One with the lady, and then the next time I went and toured by myself, because I just wanted to like go in and speak to the neighbors and see like how everyone liked it, or see like, you know, just what the environment was. And then the 3rd time, I went back with the lady because I wanted to go in the apartment, checking it inside, checking drawers, cabinets, everything to make sure everything was cool. So I ended up liking the apartment. I put my application in, I got approved. When I tell y'all, so my first day, I got the keys. I woke up, I went, signed the lease, got the keys, went straight from the leasing office to my first day at Bar Louie. And that was on a Friday. I'm pretty sure that was on a Friday. And by Sunday, I was returning those damn keys to the office. And I was like, give me my money back. I am not staying here. I refuse to stay there. But that's a whole different story too. Right? That was crazy. But I was so like sad when that happened. Because I was like, what am I going to do? Because when I moved into that apartment, and I moved out of my Airbnb, she had someone moving in directly after me. So I couldn't go back there. I don't know anybody else here. I don't have family or friends. Like my one friend, Ashley, she was living in a studio, and I was like, she had a boyfriend. I didn't want to be uncomfortable. I didn't want her to be uncomfortable. A studio was not that big. Like, for 3 people to be in it, it's just a little awkward, you know? So I was like, well, what the am I gonna do, right? Like, I cried. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Was this the right decision that I moved here? Like, it's the middle of October, because that was when I got that apartment, the middle of October, and I was like, I was literally just like panicking. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go back home. I'm just gonna go back home because this was stupid. This was a dumb idea. I don't know what I was thinking, like. But I was like, no, I cannot go back home, because I've wanted to do this my entire life. I've always wanted to be in LA. Literally always. And I was like, plus I know there are people, like, I ain't saying I got haters or anything like that, but I know there are people that, you know, think like, oh, she's going to LA, like, it's not going to work out, she's not going to make it. And my family, my family's so close that they didn't want me to leave. Like, my mom still 2 years later cannot believe that I'm living in LA like without them. So they didn't want me to leave, but I was kind of like, I have to show them, I have to show my dad and, you know, my aunts and everybody that, you know, I can do this on my own, so I can't move back. So I was literally just like, but what the hell am I gonna do? So after I moved out of that apartment, I asked my friend Ashley, could I stay with her? And I ended up having to put all my stuff in storage, because I had packed all my stuff, but I was like, where am I gonna put it? So I ended up getting a storage, and thank God public storage had like the first month $1 rental fee. Like, that's all the storage cost for the first month. And I think with like insurance and all that, it literally ended up being $25 for 1 month. And if you've ever gotten a storage, you know that that's cheap. So I was like, thank the Lord, because listen, that's the one less thing that I have to spend money on for real and worry about. So I wanted to move in my friend's apartment complex. It was so frustrating. So it got to a point where the lady in her leasing office was never there. So I wrote on a piece of paper, my name is Kierra, I am trying to move in here, do you have any apartments available? And I like wrote my number and I stuck it in the little like rent slot on the door. And I was like, Jesus, please let her call me back, because listen, this is my only hope. I'm tired of searching. around for apartments. This is driving me crazy. Like, so she ended up calling me back the next day, and she was like, oh, I have a studio apartment becoming available November 1st. So I was like, okay, cool. She's like, do you want to reserve it? I was like, yes. Yes, I want to reserve it. The people hadn't even moved out of the apartment yet. I'm like, yes, you can take my money to reserve it. She was like, once they move out and we recondition it, if you don't like it, you can get your money back. And I was like, okay, just save it. Because at this point, what choice do I have, you know? And me looking for apartments in LA, like, I'm not rich. I was like on a budget. So I wasn't trying to get no super fancy expensive apartment. I didn't want to spend all the money I was making on my apartment just to say that I live in this nice apartment. Like, I wanted to be able to live in my apartment and also live outside of my apartment because I have money to spend to do stuff, you know? So I was so happy when she called me and said she had that apartment. I was like, thank the Lord. So I was working at Bar Louie at this time. But then I was working there for like a month or two and I did not like it. I interviewed at Cheesecake Factory and I ended up getting the job there. So then I worked at Cheesecake Factory. Never mind, y'all. I live in the Valley. I was working at the Cheesecake Factory in Santa Monica. Yes, in Santa Monica, taking the 405 every single day there and back. If you don't know the pain and struggle, when people talk about LA traffic, they're talking about the 405. Just to give you a idea of what I was going through every single day. So I was working there and you know, it was nice. Like, I liked my coworkers. It was a little bit more, I was used to a little, because at Bar Louie we wore jeans and a black shirt. At Hooters we wore Hooters clothes. Like, here we had to wear, like, you know, a nice shirt, a button up, a tie and all that. I wasn't used to that. I was like, don't know if this is like my thing, but the money was good, so I was like, okay. And the food was good, so I was like, cool. But that job was just wearing me out, just to drive alone. So for those 2 weeks that I did not have a place to stay, I stayed at my friend's house. And I also knew another girl from college. She moved here, but she moved like 30 to 40 minutes away from like the LA area kinda. But I ended up staying with her and her family for like 3 of them days, I think 3 or 4 of them days. And then I stayed with my friend Ashley for the rest of those days. And then finally November 1st came and I moved into my apartment and it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, even though I didn't have shit, like I didn't have a couch, I didn't have bar stools, I didn't even have a refrigerator because it didn't come with a refrigerator. I didn't have a bed, I didn't have anything. I just had my blow up mattress and the stuff I packed in my car. But I was like, thank you, geez. Like, I appreciated the wood floors. Like, I didn't care. It was just my place and it was nice. It was decent. I was like, thank you. So I ended up, everything that I got, I ended up getting overtime. The first thing that I got was my bed. First I got my bed frame, then I got my mattress. I wasn't worried about a TV. I wasn't worried about bar stools. I wasn't worried about this rug, this couch. I didn't even care about a refrigerator. I was just like, I want somewhere to lay my head and then I'll go from there. So then the next thing that I got was the refrigerator, and then slowly but surely I started like buying stuff for the house. And now I'm in a studio, so I got everything that like can fit basically. I can fit a little bit more, but I don't like crowded stuff, so yeah. So I was working at Cheesecake Factory, and then literally one day I was just like, can't do this anymore. I just didn't go back, which is bad. Everybody put in your 2 weeks. I didn't. I literally just did not go back, and I was like, I don't care. Right? I don't know how I did that because I did not have another job for like a month. So I don't even know how I like survived. I don't know what I did. But I ended up interviewing at another restaurant called Border Grill, and that is in downtown LA. Absolutely love that place. I love my coworkers, love my managers. Like, it was a nice place. It's a Mexican restaurant, American Mexican restaurant, but it was really nice and I loved working there. The only reason I stopped working there is because when you're a server, when you're a waitress, the money is inconsistent. You can make $300 in one night or like $30 in one night. You can make $500, you can make $75. So with like my bills, those ain't ever inconsistent. Like, it's due when it's due. It's always the same amount. It ain't gonna ever fluctuate. So I was like, I can't do this. Even though in California you do make minimum wage when you're a server. In Michigan we made like $2.83 or 58 cents or something crazy like that. Here you do make minimum wage, which was so much better. That was such a relief. But yeah, I was like, I can't just do this. So I ended up interviewing at a dealership, and I got the job there. So I was working part-time there and part-time at the Border Grill, and it was working out. Oh y'all, I just like, this little thing just tickled my leg. I thought it was a bug. I was about to die. Okay, anyway, I was working part-time at both jobs, but the schedules ended up conflicting, and I was like, I can't do this. So I ended up going full-time at the dealership. Plus it was more consistent money, so I was like, this just makes more sense for like life, you know? So yeah, that's how, like, that was my job situation, my housing situation. I feel like everyone just thought that I just moved here, and like, no, for the first, I want to say, couple of months, I was crying like every other day, like every weekend, every other day. I was like, oh my god, why did I do this? I should have never moved here. Like, I'm moving back home. I don't know, this is not my thing. Like, I love it out here, but I'm too fucking broke for this. What am I gonna do? Like, but I mean, I feel like everyone wants to know what advice would I give to move to LA. And I feel like to move to LA, unless you just have money, unless you have a job lined up and you don't have to like worry or be on a budget looking for apartments, then it's not going to be easy. If you got it like that, then it's going to be easy. You can just move here. You can just move anywhere in that case. But if you don't, it's going to be a struggle. Like, it wasn't all glitz and glam for me. It wasn't all palm trees and beaches or anything like that. Like, I was really out here every single day. I was grinding for a job. Everyone that I know that has moved out here, especially the way that I did it, like just up and moved, or like didn't really have a set plan, everyone that I know like that, they went through some stuff. Like, we share stories about like, oh my god, when I first moved out here, I couldn't do it. Like, you literally just have to push through it. And if you're waiting on a perfect time to move to LA, there is no perfect time. Like, I just feel like you just have to move at a time where you know you're going to be determined, you know you're going to be driven, you know you're going to get out there and search for what you need to search for. You're going to get out there, you're going to be apartment hunting, you're going to get out there, you're going to be job hunting. Because a lot of people move here and they're like, I'm just going to put my application in, someone's going to take me, and it's going to be, it's not like that. It's really not like that. Like, you really have to grind. You have to go out, you have to meet people. Like, I'm not a person that can just like go out somewhere randomly and by myself and meet a bunch of people. But you have to be that person. Literally, the more connections you make, the better you will be out here. But also, there was a lot of stuff that I had to avoid. Like, when I first moved in here, when I first moved to LA, I was hanging out in West Hollywood a lot. So there were a bunch of guys that were all like, oh baby girl, like, come talk to me, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna give you that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm just like, what I look like? Believe in you. Like, it is possible to get sucked in some crap, because guys try to sell you dreams, people try to lie to you, girls are fake, which all of that stuff they say, people do act Hollywood and LA out here. But you just have to find a good stable group of friends, or a good stable friend, you know, and like just have fun. But other than that, there's really no key to moving out here. There's really no, I feel like there's no perfect time to move out here. You literally just have to go for it. Do your research on the neighborhood that you want to stay in. That way you can narrow it down. Because I tried, but I don't know, it wasn't that easy for me. But hopefully it'll be that easy for y'all. Put in a ton of applications before you come. Like, I say the week before you come, put in applications. Therefore, when you get here, you can already get the ball rolling and start doing callbacks and seeing like hey, did you get my application? What's going on? But a lot of places, a lot of people, they try to talk a good game. You just have to watch out. You have to be smart. You have to be level-headed. You cannot be naive. But it's a fun time out here. I love it, y'all. I want to be here for the rest of my life. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to my story. Maybe I'll do a couple story times on some stuff that I talked about in here. Because y'all, I got some juicy stuff to say. I got some stuff to say, okay? No, really. Alright, it's getting late and I'm getting sleepy, so I'm about to start laughing a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please go subscribe to my channel so you can be updated when I post new videos. And I look forward to talking to y'all later.